Hi, I'm John Byrne with Poets&Quants. Welcome to another edition of One-on-One, our video series of business school officials. Today we have a very special guest from Ireland, Ciarán hÓgartaigh, the Dean of UCD's Michael Smurfit Graduate Business School. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
So tell me, why should anyone go to Ireland for business education?
Well, I think there's a number of reasons, but they can all be captured by the word intimacy, in that we're English speaking, in the Eurozone, capital city in Dublin. Those things create a particular environment, a particular ecosystem, very strong corporate connections. So 9 of the top 10 tech companies are based in Ireland. Very strong food sector, very strong financial services sector. So we have a very strong infrastructure and ecosystem which is international and global. We're very close to that because it's a small economy, small environment, small classes generally. So our full-time MBA is about 40, 50 students. So that means there's a particular intimacy in the classroom as well, particular closeness, if you like. The quality of our faculty, about 40% of our faculty are international, over 3/4 internationally trained. More than nearly half our students are international, so non-Irish. So that makes for a particular environment in the classroom. All that is really consistent with Ireland as an international economy, a global economy, export driven, and those connections are very important for us and for our students and our graduates.
Plus, Dublin is a great place to be.
That's right. We think so, but we don't. It's not natural for Irish people to be too proud, but we like it.
And you have a wide portfolio of programs in addition to the MBA program, which, as you stated, is small and intimate. You have an executive MBA, you have some executive education, but more importantly, you have a fairly large menu of specialized master's degrees, including some that are quite unique. Talk about some of them.
Yeah, so we have a very broad portfolio of master's programs, all the disciplines. So there's a wide range of choice: marketing, accounting, finance, IR, management more generally. But the other thing we've been trying to do in the last number of years is really think about what's Ireland known for and what are we good at in order to really do even better than what we're doing right now. So we've thought of 3 areas. One is digital business, because of Google, Facebook, and the tech companies based in Dublin and Ireland more generally.
And Google has 4,000 employees in Dublin alone.
Something like that,
right.
Yeah. And the CEO of Google Ireland is on our advisory board, so we have quite close relationships with Google. Second piece is food, so we're a food island, very strong food sector. And the third is financial services. So we started a program in digital marketing a number of years ago, had no students 3-4 years ago, now we have 120 students at the Smurfit School in that space, so working very closely with the tech companies. Program in food business strategy, this is its second year, it is about 45-50 students, mainly food ingredients graduates, ag science graduates, so that opens up a whole new market for us as well, not just business graduates. Program in business analytics, again because of that growth in that particular sector for business, but also maths, computer science graduates. And then we're opening up the area of finance. We have a very strong finance program as it stands, but we're also developing an interest and expertise in aviation finance, for example.
Aviation finance? I didn't know that there was a specialty like
that.
Yeah,
there's some generic aspects to it, but some particular skills like modelling and understanding residual values, those kind of things. But the real element of it, or for us, the signal of it is that Dublin and Ireland is a really strong hub for aviation finance. So more than half the commercial aircraft that are leased in the world are leased out of Ireland. So there's a tradition there coming from Tony Ryan's foundation of GPA. That generation, which is around my age, has now spawned a whole ecosystem of aviation leasing companies. And part of our thinking is, well, how do we work with them in order to codify the curriculum, bring their expertise into the classroom, build a research base that creates the next generation of leadership. So Tony Ryan to this generation, where's the next generation going to come from? We see part of our role is to create and help create that next generation.
And these are 1-year specialized masters, right?
Yeah, 1 full year, so 11, 12-month programs.
And they have a fairly large number of international students in them?
That's right, yeah. About half the school is international, mainly North American, Chinese, German, Vietnamese, and Indian. They're the big 5. And again, that for us is consistent with scaling from Ireland. You couldn't be big enough or as big as we are, as good as we are, without having an international dimension. No company can scale in Ireland alone. So part of our thinking is that we would internationalise and scale that direction. But secondly, it also represents the employment prospects generally in the Irish economy. If you work in an Irish company, you're likely to work in an international company, likely to work with international graduates as well. So that we're creating that environment in preparation, if you like, and to assist the economy in that context.
And your MBA program is actually even slightly more international than the overall school,
That's right, yeah. So the current year has about 40 MBA students, and 2/3 of those are from overseas. about 20% from North America. And then we've quite a few Chinese and Indian students in there as well. So again, that creates a particular environment that for a US student thinking about where they'd like to study for the MBA makes it very, very distinct. Intimate because it's a small class, but also very international because of the multicultural dimension of the class.
And it's a 12-month program.
12-month program over the
You have
year.
experiential pieces of it, right?
That's right. So project work within the program would do projects with companies, either as part of a module or as a full module. So there are aspects of the program that are particularly focused on building expertise and working with companies. That makes it also more structured. So it's a more structured learning environment than simply an internship. It's mainly in the classroom, and there's a professional development portfolio within it as well. So thinking about students, thinking about, well, what do they need to learn over the year? How do we structure pathways for them to make those opportunities for learning? How do we create groups that allow them to have those opportunities? So because of the intimacy and the size of the program compared to other international programs, that offers a particular dimension to it which we think is very valuable. Also Triple Crown accredited and ranked in the top 100 by the Financial Times. So that gives it that quality dimension as well, which we think is important.
Do the international students tend to stay in Ireland, or do they go back to their home countries?
And most of them tend to stay. So we've quite a few US students who come because they want to work in Ireland or in Dublin. So we'd one this year who came from the West Coast to come to Dublin. To work with tech companies was her ambition. So that's particularly interesting for us. And I think again it makes...
Gave up that California sunshine?
That's right, yeah, for the soft rain of Ireland. No droughts in Ireland. It's a different environment. So for somebody looking to build their vita, this stands out, this is distinctive. The gumption to get up, the courage to get up and go to Ireland, do something different, learn and work in the Irish environment, and then possibly return home in due course. I think either with the company you're working with or with a different company, I think that's particularly attractive to a lot of US students.
Great. What's your best advice to someone who wants to come to Smurfit and study either in a specialized master's program or MBA? How do you prep for that? How do you get ready for it? What should you expect?
Right. I think on the MBA, the GMAT we use GMAT, so the GMAT score is important. And then obviously we have elements around other elements of the application like essay work and so on. For the MSc, we generally use the quality of your undergraduate degree and the relevance of it. So if it's
because those are pre-experienced candidates, largely.
That's right, largely, yeah. So for those who are looking to come to us, let's say in aviation finance or in analytics or in marketing more generally, let's say, an undergraduate degree in that area. So if you have an undergraduate degree with a major in marketing and you do well, so we call it a 2-1, but it's a good grade point average. That's the first element of it. And that's really what we base our decision on. So there's not, and for the MSc, it's really about the quality of your undergraduate degree and the specific nature of it, the kind of the major that you've taken.
So if I apply and I get into your MBA program, can I come and have a pint with the dean?
Anytime. That makes for intimacy as well. I tend to give them my email address straight up. People think that's crazy. I give them Dean of Business, not Ciarán.hÓgartaigh. And some colleagues think, that, what are you doing giving them your email? But I think for us that's an important signal that there's an informality about the school that we don't realise very often, but our students tell us is there because we live in it, where they experience it. So there is that element to it, and we like to get to know our students well and support them well. And that's again part of the reason to come, because there is that intimacy, that friendship, that friendliness about Ireland, which we think is valuable.
Great. Ciarán, thank you so much for being with us. And thank you for watching. This is John Byrne for Poets and Quants.